No joist and beam layout on your next project? Not a problem. Hi everybody, I'm Dan McJunkin with Residential Estimating Service. I estimate homes of all types, and I want to show you exactly how I handle a plan when it comes in and I don't have a joist or beam engineering. Now, joist and beam engineering is very common. It's something that we need as builders, and as an estimator I need it so that I can be accurate for you. And so if you don't have that, if you're not going to go to an engineer to lay that out for you, maybe your designer didn't feel comfortable providing that for you, as your estimator, I want you to have an accurate estimate, and I don't want to just guess on a plan. So what I do is I'll create your joist layout for you. As long as you understand that I'm not an engineer, I'm laying these joists out and the beams for estimating purposes only, then I can move forward and I can give you what I believe to be an accurate representation of the material requirements you're going to have. Now, this is going to be the layout portion, but what I actually do is I incorporate all of this data into the estimates that I provide. You can see a sample of my work on my website at residentialestimating.com. Just look for the samples page and you'll see several types of estimates that I do. And what you're going to see is a simple takeoff version, which is what most builders really want. But when I'm doing that, I'm actually creating for you a material management plan. I don't charge extra for that. It's part of what I do. Now, I'm going to show you this additional service, which is a joist layout. It's very cost effective. And it's very effective because it communicates from your will to me back to the framer, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a phone call with you and we're going to go over each room, talk about the joist, and I'm going to get your acceptance of what I might propose before we commit to it. So let me jump right in here and show you what I'm talking about. So this is a beam layout. You can see that I've got a disclaimer here. You can see that in this area of the carport, we're not going to have any joists. This is, by the way, a Barndominium. This is actually a structure that they're going to build a structure within. It's a red iron structure, manufactured, pre-engineered building. So these have become kind of popular, where in rural settings mostly, it's a very cost-effective way to get a shell that you can then build inside regardless of the weather. So it's also nice to have the loads supported differently than by lumber. It's actually a different standard of windstorm resistance, and a lot of builders like it. A lot of owner builders are going to this as a way to save some cost. So what I've done is adapted methods to make this work for all parties, because a lot of times on this type of construction, the builder just doesn't have an intention to have a joist layout done. They expect the framer just to order some material and start laying it out. Well, that's a dangerous scenario because the framer's not an engineer either. He just works with lumber. And so let me show you what I've done is I contacted the builder. We went through this, spent about, half hour, 45 minutes on the phone, and I told him what I'd like to do, because I had already penciled into the plan what I was thinking, and then I had digested our conversation down to what you're seeing right here. What you see in orange, those are going to be engineered beams. They're going to be Anthony Power beams is what I would recommend. I'm not affiliated with them at all or with a particular lumber company. But in this case, I've sized them to sizes that I actually think are a little bit of overkill. The builder's aware of that. I believe in communication. And once he's aware of that, now I can take the next steps of actually laying out some joists. Let me show you the ceiling joists that I've calculated for this project. And I'm just going to turn them on. And you're going to notice that we've got different colors. Now, blue for me is 2x6s. Green is 2x8s. This mint green is a 2x8, but it's on a slope. And that's because we've got a cathedral or vaulted ceiling in a family room. And I want to designate that differently because it's at pitch. So then red is 2x10s. So this is my way visually of communicating to the builder and to his framer exactly where the material goes. Because when it's delivered, the builder might deliver the entire frame back all at once. I want that framer to be able to break that pack down and literally say, okay, see all those 14 footers, 2x8s? I want those stacked over here by the garage because we need to have them all there. And so we need those 2x8/16. They're for the sloping ceiling in the family room. So this is my way of communicating back to the builder far more than just what goes where. I'm literally telling him the links of materials so that when the material arrives, the framer doesn't have an excuse to just start cutting wood. Because if you've ever built a house, what you might know is framers will almost instinctively go to a long piece of lumber and start cutting it into shorter pieces, which means we're going to have to call the lumber company soon for more lumber. In this case, what I want as your estimator is to help you get the most efficient use out of your lumber. I don't like wasting material any more than anybody else because that costs somebody something. And so I think it's very important that we communicate what's going to go where, and that communication makes it back to the framer. So even in my estimate that I hope you go and see online, the samples at residentialestimating.com, you'll see in the takeoff version, there will be some notes on the first page about what I'm doing. But when you get to the material management version, that's why it's so many more pages, is because I write it like a book. I literally will say, you need this material, it goes here. So I hope you'll see that. Now, there are a lot of builders that don't want to be bothered by that. I don't charge extra, I just do it this way. And my fee is very competitive with what a regular, just some guy doing a takeoff is going to be. Because I've been that guy doing a takeoff, and what my problem with that is, if I'm only making a list of lumber and sending that to you, you have no idea where it goes. And at the end of the day, if you're short lumber, you're going to blame somebody for that, and I don't want it to be me. So that's why I give you that great material management detail form. So it's kind of like a cut sheet. That's what some builders will even call it. A cut sheet that tells you what goes where and why. And if I've made a presumption, or if you've told me to disregard some element of the plan, I'm going to most likely put that note in there to remind you and remind the framer that we had a discussion about it and that it was intentional. Well, thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you need a joist layout with your plan, I'm not afraid of it. Send me your plan, we'll work it out. But I'm not an engineer, but I'll help you get a tighter takeoff, which is really how you're going to want to use me. Let me be your estimator. If you need other things like sheetrock and countertops and tile for the bathrooms and flooring materials, that's what I do as well. So I'm a full-blown estimator. I want to do a good job for you. By all means, give me a call. My number is 832-277-7203. I'm Dan McJunkin, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon.